What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Party Chat. I'm Matt, that's Dan, and that is Ash.
Hello.
We now live in a world where Uncharted 4 is real. Technically. By the time you're watching this, Uncharted 4 will be out. Hopefully you are all enjoying it. At the time of recording, Uncharted is just about to come out. So we figured this week we would have a conversation, as we do every Wednesday here on Party Chat, about Uncharted 4, why we're excited for it, talk about some of the trophies, Naughty Dog and the Uncharted history, and maybe even where they're going to go in the future. And then next week, again on Wednesday, where we have our weekly conversation, you'll be able to find our full spoiler review over thoughts of the entire game, where we don't do many reviews here, but we don't often get a time where we all are this excited for a video game.
Yeah.
So
we don't also get that many times where we're all playing it at the same time.
Not on launch either, no. So yeah, get strapped in. Here goes round one of Uncharted 4 conversation.
Yeah.
So if you do like video game conversations, along with news, let's plays and more, you can find out everything we do on our website, thegameinitiative.com. The link to that is down below. So I'm going to start with you, Ash, because I feel like Uncharted 4 means more to you than even we mean to you. So, with it being so close now, why are you so excited for this game? What is it about Uncharted that gets your juices flowing, as it were?
There's a few things. I think, aside from the sort of style of game that it is, I think, and you know what's required of the game, of you as a person sort of playing the game, it's the other things that go with it. It's the added sort of subtle humour that's in the game, in the story writing, the way the characters are written as well. I think it lends itself very well to you liking certain characters more than others, and you can sort of pick and choose your favourites and who you like. There's also the romance element there as well, I think, which you might not be that fond of, but there is a lot. There's always a lot riding on Nathan's story and his journey and what he's doing, and I think it just sort of it brings you in, and once you're in, you're in for the long term, really. But it's just all round a really good game. The gameplay's great, the story's great, the characters are great. There's not really anything I don't like about it.
I think, Dan, I'll get your opinion as well, but for me it is more about the story that sets it apart. If we're talking pure 100% gameplay mechanics, it's not the best third-person shooter out there.
No.
It was coming out at a time where Gears of War was coming out, and I think, obviously subjectively, that is a better third-person shooter mechanically. I'll be very surprised if Uncharted 4 plays as well as The Division plays from a third-person shooter, either, because I think that was actually really, really solid. But yeah, the stories and also the visuals. Like, every time the game comes out from Uncharted, it's like, man, this game looks like no other game manages to look as good as a Naughty Dog game.
Very true.
So those are my reasons. What is it for you, or is it kind of just a repetition of what
it's repeating what you're saying. It's the story overall has always been good. It's like the characters themselves. Each game, they grow. It's not just like game 1 introduces you characters, and then game 2 and 3 just plays off the back of that. Like, there's always development and so on. With Nate, you always see changes and growth within him throughout those games. It's not Nate at the end of 3 is not the Nate that was at the beginning of 1.
Yeah, I mean, you see the introduction of Elena in the first game, and you have Chloe as well, and then you see that Nathan gets a lot closer to Elena in the second game, and then in the third game they're married, and but things aren't great between them. Clearly their marriage is not great. So I think all in all, where will Uncharted 4 go? Nobody knows, but that is a part of the story which I'm really excited to learn about. It's not so much about this new character we've got, it's more about, for me, it's more about what's going on with Nathan and Elena.
Do you have then, from the trilogy, before we get into Uncharted 4 and the future, do you have a favourite moment from the series? Because you can go and find our top 10 video games. I feel like I kind of kind of give what's the word I'm looking for? I kind of market these videos every week now on Party Chat.
Yeah.
But we all did earlier this year our top 10 videos in.
Am I still the most viewed?
I don't know. I don't check it that. But we all picked the same Uncharted in our top 10 as our favourite Uncharted, which was Uncharted 2. You'll have to find out where in the list by going to watch the videos. But yeah, in terms of an actual single moment, I mean, for me, actually maybe not a favourite moment, but one that just sticks in my mind, maybe again because I've played it more recently, though, was just when you stumble into the jungle and see this giant submarine, like in Uncharted 1. That was the first moment when you realised, kind of like that this was going to be, like it was kind of almost a setup for there's going to be big set pieces in these games. Because we obviously with Uncharted 1 we had no idea what it was going to be. These were the people that made Jak and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot. It was like they'd never made anything like this before. And all of a sudden there was a big fucking submarine in the middle of like a rainforest.
You couldn't just go to it, you had to go
in it
to it.
Yeah, it's like as soon as I saw that I knew basically one or two things was going to happen. It's going to fall off the waterfall that it was kind of balanced on, or something was going to explode in it. It's like it was telegraphed in the sense of something is happening with this. And you can narrow it down based on what it was.
I'll tell you right now, if that had been a thing that happened in today, if they were coming up with that idea in today's game, it would fall off. I just reckon the technology they weren't advanced enough to be able to, have the moving physics of like a collapsing. Explosions were quote unquote easy.
I think
they had the training too, didn't they?
That's what I was about to say. You basically had that from the training too.
Which was awesome.
I think in terms of sort of a moment for me is whilst the second Uncharted was undoubtedly like my favourite game out of the first three, in terms of a moment I'd probably have to move to Uncharted 3 because I liked the story behind how Nathan and Sully met. Going back to the old streets where Nathan's a young boy and he's clearly very, very clever. He's got good skills and there's a really nice sort of you can see how they're just connected so well from day one, Sully and Nathan. When he was a sort of pickpocket, if you like, at a young age of 10, 11, 12, whatever he was. So I quite like that. In terms of the story, I like that bit.
Yeah, that was a good moment. How about you, Dan? Is that something that sticks out for you? Or?
Yeah, well, like when you were talking about it before, I was like thinking, was there like a big gameplay moment or anything like that? And I can't say there's any stand out there. But something that I think really underlines, like we're talking about character development and how they all interconnect and everything like that, is actually just the last scene of Uncharted 2. When everything's getting together and Sully's going off chasing after Chloe and Nate ribs him about that. And then it's like the last bit where he's talking with Elena and it's like, how scared were you that I was going to die? And he's like, it's a 6. It's like, she's like, what? Me dying was a 6? What's a 10? And he was like, clowns.
That was a really good
and line. This sums up how all of that works together with like the humour and the characters and the story and that's like the perfect blend moment.
Oh, that was I forgot about that. That was hilarious.
There's so many moments we could go through. Like when you go into the desert in 3, like that was the first time where I thought that. Well,
I remember when it was revealed and they were like, look, moving sand! It's basically the thing everyone was getting excited about.
But that was the first time, because at the end, with it being the third one and coming towards the end, we didn't really know, but it was the first time where I thought that could actually be a time where they might actually choose to kill the character. Because that was basically when he was... That was the equivalent of in The Dark Knight Rises, where Bruce Wayne has gone out to the prison. It's like that's his lowest point in the story. It's like he's in the middle of nowhere, no one's around, he's got nothing.
I'm just replaying that bit right now. I'm actually on the plane on my way there at the moment. On my God knows how many playthroughs I've had of this game, but I think I've played 1 and 2 4 times, maybe 5, and the third one I think I'm on my third playthrough maybe.
So moving to Uncharted 4, obviously game out now, like I said, we're all probably playing it at the very moment that you're watching this video, if not already completed it. Let's have a look at the trophy list that has been leaked. All of these story or chapter ones are hidden, so we can't go through those, so therefore you're not going to see any spoilers from this list if you haven't yet played it. So there are some pretty hard trophies in here. Obviously, Ash, a big trophy hunter. We've got the standards: complete the game in crushing, complete the game in explorer, light mode, moderate mode, hard mode, so all the different game modes. There's a speedrun one now. Complete the game in 6 hours or less.
Yeah, that's new.
Which is quite interesting when they say that it's meant to be about a 14-hour campaign.
People are saying 12 to 14 hours at the moment. On
Obviously, you're going to be skipping all the cutscenes, which will drastically drop that down.
But yeah, just that's going to be super fast.
That's
hard
going to be
do.
some learning where everything is.
It is, but I would say it doesn't take too long to learn. I think once you've had one playthrough, if you complete the game in one sitting, normal mode, 14, 15, 16 hours, let's say, and you then played it again, you'd be amazed how quickly you get through the game. And I reckon you, on easy or normal, whatever you want to call it, light mode, you would actually probably be able to speed run through quite quickly, because enemies are always spawning from the same place. You can take a lot more damage. You're not dying every 2 minutes. You're not restarting the level and respawning. So
there are certain areas, obviously, as well, where you probably could just. There are certain areas where you have to clear enemies, but there'll probably be certain areas where you can almost run past them and run through, which obviously you never do in your first playthrough. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing it for speed, you'll be able to. And it's the puzzles as well. Like I remember when I was playing the first one recently again, and just knowing all the answers to the puzzles, how much quicker you do those.
Yeah.
I remember sometimes they're never hard, but sometimes you could sit there for 15 minutes doing a puzzle that takes
well, sometimes they're actually really easy,
Yeah.
but you just can't see the wood through the trees. No matter how much you look at it, it's actually a really simple answer, but you just can't see it, and it is like that sometimes.
So let's quickly go through the rest of the ones. You've got a standard one here: find all treasures. That will be pretty straightforward. These are all silver ones at the moment. Defeat 100 enemies in a row without dying. Probably not too hard if you're on easy. Get through the Scotland Cemetery combat encounter without killing or being seen. Obviously, I don't know how difficult that's going to be because we haven't seen that level yet. But obviously, stealth is a new thing for Uncharted 4. Defeat enemies with a stealth attack, melee attack, headshot, and explosives.
Yeah,
Description cuts. So there's obviously
we
there's
get
going to
a
be all
lot
the
of these
different
anyway.
types.
Yeah, we get a lot of the normal sort of weapon ones as well, which we've seen in the past. With get 30 kills with the grenade, get 30 kills with the pistol or whatever. So it's fairly similar to that.
So we've got a new collectible as well as the trophies. After find a treasure, find 50 treasures, all that. Find a journal entry. So they've added a new type of collectible to there, which hopefully will give us some good additional story insight into the game.
It's journal entries and then journal notes. Two different things. We're not quite sure what they comprise of yet. But it's nice to have something different. I don't know if this is something which you're going to carry forward as more of as an investigator, perhaps. I don't know.
I wonder if this is going to be. Depends what the journal notes are, and what the entries are, and whose they are that you're finding. Yeah. Could it be an opportunity where they sort of tell a bit of a story of the backstory of you? And maybe it's Sam's journal. Maybe Sam's been taken, and you have to go and find him, and you're finding his notes or something.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I don't know. We'll see. Enemies with headshots, standard. Rope, stealth takedowns, all standard. All of these sort of things here. Killing, like you said, you just do it naturally throughout the game. Complete the game with 70% or higher shot accuracy. Does that sound hard? 70% is quite high.
Yeah.
That means for every 10 rounds that's going to be one where you're probably going to have to complete the game with predominantly your pistol.
I think most gamers, when they're actually playing games where they're aiming properly, probably have something in the 60% range.
You reckon that high? I was going to say more like 30-40%.
I reckon those who take their time when they're properly aiming are probably in the 60%.
Properly aiming, maybe.
Do you know what? When I play... when I play crushing, my accuracy is much, much better because
You're basically forced to go for headshots.
You have to, and also you've got limited time. The second you come out of cover, you're exposed to taking fire, and in crushing mode you can take one bullet and then die or whatever. So you have to make sure that you're accuracy is up there.
Yeah.
So it's not just sort of blind firing like you would say with a swarm of enemies in normal or easy mode. It's a lot more, you have to hit your target. So I don't know, maybe that isn't as bad as it sounds.
Maybe.
Don't know.
The bottom line is, if you're going to play your game through normal to start with, which I think we've all said that we'll probably do,
Yeah.
you then might have to play it again on hard to unlock crushing. We don't know if that's true or not yet.
Yeah.
Then crushing, so that's 3. Then you're going to need to do the speed run, that's 4. You're then going to need to possibly play it again
An explorer
for the collectibles,
That's a tidy up.
and then possibly even another time for the 70% or higher. So you could potentially have 6 playthroughs here for a platinum. Now you could maybe do the explorer and the shots in one playthrough. Obviously it means you couldn't play you'd have to do it on light difficulty rather than explorer for the collectibles, I think, because your combat ones are normally not eligible on explorer.
Some are, yeah.
My question is, realistically, is are you going to platinum this game?
Matthew.
Ashley.
That's a silly question.
5 playthroughs you're going to need to do.
Yeah.
Minimum.
So I platinumed the first 3 Uncharted's on the PS3.
Yeah.
I then got the Uncharted collection. And I platinumed the first 2, and I'm on my way to platinum the 3rd game.
Okay.
So I effectively, by yesterday...
By yesterday, I will have completed.
By yesterday, I should have 6 platinum trophies for 3 Uncharted.
Do you have Golden Abyss platinum?
No.
So you don't platinum every Uncharted game. So, what?
This is the main story.
Okay, so you will platinum the game.
I will. Yeah.
It'll
happen.
See, I don't know, because I don't think I will, because I think there's too many playthroughs and there's not enough time and there's too many video games.
Look,
I like to enjoy these games, so it's like I want to play it for the story. I'm not playing it for the trophies.
No.
And so for me, it's like 1 playthrough, maybe 2, kind of thing. But I don't think I want to do it back to back. I want to go away from this game happy with it, having completed it. I don't want to become a chore.
Yeah.
Well, I would do the same. I mean, I would. I'd play through it on normal, I think, as we all will, because we want to enjoy the game, we want to experience the game for what it should be, enjoy the story, not have to worry about dying every 5 minutes like you would maybe on Crushing, and we want to do that. And I always do that, I think, with any new game. After that, I think then, there's no rush to get the platinum, but I think, with these games, after, a few weeks, I'm always happy to go back to it and put a few more hours into it, so...
I'm almost tempted to do it now and trying to beat you.
You can't beat me.
But you won't. But I won't. We got Homefront at the end of the month.
We do, and that's the thing, it's going to be a busy time.
It's a lot hard, back in 2011, there were a lot less games to play than there are now.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it was easier. But all in all, I think, it's fair to say...
All in all, we're going to enjoy this game.
Yeah.
I mean, the reviews are coming in. There's already like 10s, 9s and 10s across the board.
I don't think I've actually seen a 9.
I've seen
personally out of obviously the marketing spiel, so the 9s are probably taken away.
Yeah, IGN have provisionally given it an 8.8. And the person who reviewed it got a lot of hate for how dare they give their opinion and it not be anything less than a 10. But GameSpot gave it a 10, and GameSpot are very hard to please. Like, they don't give many games 10. So,
but you've got to remember,
it's an opinion.
There's a lot of expectations on this game. A lot. With the history of Uncharted, there's not many games out there that have got the history that this does. There's been a lot of hype around this game for a long time. So if it is anything short of very, 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 very good, people are going to be disappointed.
I'm excited. And next week we'll be bringing you our full thoughts on the game. So you don't really need to read any of those reviews out there. Just come back next week and find out our opinion, because that's the one that really matters.
It is.
But I have a feeling it will be positive.
I just think it would be. You're going to get a bit of closure, I think, on the story.
How do you think? Right,
maybe some emotion, maybe some tears.
Last chance. I think we've had this conversation before, but let's put it into this video. What's the final scene of Uncharted 4? I'm putting you on the spot because you've had no time to think about that. You didn't know it was going to be a question.
Nate in the hospital can't walk anymore. Elena by his side.
It's going to be a happily ever after with Nathan and Elena.
I'm not saying he's dead. I'm just saying they're making it so he can't go treasure raiding anymore.
I did speculate that he would die, but I still think he might. But I would like to see it. There is a possibility he will die at the end, but I'd like to see it happily ever after with Elena and.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's.
It's
basically.
Yeah.
He can have his family. He can have his life. Just no more exploring.
All right, here we go. Sully dies. Nathan and Elena live happily ever after.
Off into the sunset.
Yeah.
In the flying boat.
Or is it going to be final scene will be at Sully's grave?
Could be. Sully will die.
As the hand comes popping out.
I don't think anyone will die. I think it will be they'll finally find the treasure they've been after all this time, and all of them will go riding off into the sun together, and they'll have made so much money, but that's it. They don't need to worry about anything anymore because they've hit the super jackpot. Super, super happy ending.
Maybe. We like happy endings.
I just don't think that they would want to end. Realistically, yeah. I mean, should it all catch up to Nate? Probably should. But I think Naughty Dog possibly have too much affection to this character to just unnecessary.
Gosh.
So close to the end. I just don't see them having anything other than being able to give him a happy ending. Like, this character's been, what, more than a decade of their life? To kill him would be...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
J.K. Rowling couldn't kill Harry Potter at the end of her book, so
yeah.
Naughty Dog can't kill their Nathan Drake.
No.
So, let us know. Well, actually, no, don't let us know because you've probably played it by now. I think the end will be this. It's like, wow, you nailed it exactly. So yeah, but let us know in the comments below whether or not you're enjoying Uncharted. No spoilers. Spoilers can be saved for next week's video, please. Where you can join in our conversation where we'll have everything. But for now, Dan, Ash, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy Uncharted.
Enjoy. I know I will. And everyone out there, enjoy Uncharted 4, and we will see you all next time.